Oh hey, it's Wes, and today it's time to have a look at something very tiny. The new-ish Pergear 260GB Compact Flash Express Type A card. I was excited when Compact Flash Express Type A came out, or CFExpress A, we're gonna say that from now on, because not only are they smaller than SD cards, which is wild, but they're faster. But the problem is they were crazy expensive all the time. Sony came out with their tough cards and they were absurdly expensive. Then eventually other brands like ProGrade came out, crazy expensive too. Angelbird came out with a 1TB one. I don't need 1TB, I'm not out of my mind. But now this is a great size, 260GB for what is probably a great price. We're gonna look at the price later. How does it compare? How does it hold up? Let's look at some numbers and tests. I've been using this in my camera for quite a while now. I have shot hours of footage, hundreds of photos. It's held up great. Generally speaking, CFExpress cards, just based on their architecture and how they interface, using the PCI Express bus instead of the other way that SD cards interface, they tend to be more reliable. That being said, you should still shoot with 2 cards if you're doing professional work that you're being paid for. The kit that I have here came with these oddly nice wooden boxes. So the card came in this nice wooden box, and, oop, not that. The card reader came in this one. First thing I wanted to do was compare how the card reader worked compared to what's kind of the gold standard, the ProGrade card reader. We'll see that the Pergear reader topped out at a write speed of 870 megabytes per second, a read of 697, whereas the ProGrade reader topped out at 854 megabytes per second and a read of 471. Shockingly enough, Pergear reader outperformed the ProGrade reader. Did not expect that. Now, there is a reason why that might be. At least with my computer, I'm using an M1 Max MacBook Pro. When I put one card in this reader, that's all I get. I can't use 2 cards at once. It goes to the one card and gives it all its gut. Whereas this one, you can access both cards at the same time. So if you plug one card in and then jab another card in after, at least on my computer, it kind of force ejects the first card, which is not healthy. So this is a 1 card at a time reader. Just keep that in mind. Slightly slower speeds on this, but 2 cards at once. Slightly faster speeds, but be careful. How does it perform in the camera? I have heard some people complain that this card gets hot, and so I took an infrared thermometer and I put that to the test. I tested the ProGrade 250 megabyte per second card, as well as the 300 megabyte per second card that is in this camera, as well as this Pergear card. And wouldn't you know it, this one actually ran cooler. And I know why people think that it's running hotter, but let's look at the numbers here. So after a Blackmagic disk speed test running 5 rounds of 5 gigabytes, and it's important that I tested this not based on time, but based on throughput. So this is a certain amount of data, not a certain amount of time, because that's how it works in your camera. You're writing a certain amount of data that we're comparing between cards. But why do people think this card runs hot? It's the metal on the top and bottom. Metal conducts heat more efficiently into your skin. So if I'm holding a ProGrade plastic SD card that is 69 degrees, right next to this Pergear that's 51 degrees, to the hand this feels way hotter. And this is just a human perception thing. So where do we stand on price here? Well, obviously this is going to cost us more than an SD card. That is what it is, you get more performance. This comes in at $180 on its own, just this, or $197 US with the reader included. Let's compare. There's a new ProGrade 240 gigabyte card that comes in at $260. That's not a bad deal, but it's still more. There's a Lexar 160 for $190, about the same price, less storage. Delkin 160 for $263, less storage, more money. And then there's the Sony Tough 160 gigabyte card for $400. That's a lot more. There are bigger, there are faster. I'm just comparing cards that are truly comparable to this. So obviously this is gonna be your best bang for the buck at the moment. If you want to pick one of these up, I'll have a link down in the description below. I don't know if it's an affiliate link or not. We'll see. Finally, we have an affordable option that appears to be perfectly reliable. If you've tested one of these, if you have any troubles, let me know down in the comments below. So until next time, let's go take some high-speed photos.